Gunline, gunline, gunline. Fire mission coming down. I'm your host Lopez here, and I'd like to welcome you onto the Gunline podcast, where we shoot the shit like we did in the past. So pop a squat because it's about to get hot. You're on the Gunline now. So today on the Gunline, we have a former redleg who hails from the great state of West Virginia. We served together in Fort Hood, deployed to Baghdad, then ran into each other in Camp Hovey, Korea, where lots of memories were made that we can't fucking remember. And now he's doing some kind of secret squirrel shit that we can't really talk about, can't disclose too much of his current status, but let's find out what we can. So with that said, Lacy, welcome onto the Gunline, brother. Let's shoot the shit.
What up?
What's good?
What up? What's going on, dude?
Oh, it's going, baby. It's going. I think this round 2 will be better than the first round. Let's just say there were technical difficulties with the first one, and so we had to redo this after about a good 10 minutes in. What's good, man? How you been?
It's good, man. Living the life.
Hell yeah. You look like you living the
Don't
life
want to say that
well.
That old cliche shit that I'm blessed, but I mean, shit, I work where I'm at. You know what I mean? I work to get here, so fuck it. We'll say I'm blessed. I got God on my side.
Hell to the yeah, man. That's what's up. You look healthy. You got a nice little fucking veteran beard growing and shit. Or did you outgrow your hair on your head and it's just growing on your face now?
That's what happened. It fell off, man.
Now, and you're young, right?
Yeah, 37.
Yeah, you're young. We're about the same age. So what's up, man? For those that don't know you, let's find out a little about your background, brother.
Background, we'll kick it off from high school. Graduated 2002. Bullshitted around for 2 years, being a crazy teenager. Joined the military into 2004. Same as you, went to basic and SEAL, OSIT,
yes, sir.
13 Bravos. We were in the same basic together at the same time, but I think we were in different batteries. You were in Delta, and I was in Bravo. There with Kowalczyk, fucking Polak bastard.
Yep.
And then
Polak Jew.
You know, damn, 80 of us, about 80% of us left there to go to Hood. You know, got there, trained up, deployed, did that Baghdad tour. Some of us, you know, it was a year tour. A couple of us, it was a little bit longer for advanced, and the ones who chose to stay back, so that was, I think, 14 months total is what that was.
Hell to the yeah.
Re-enlisted on that first deployment. Got back to Hood for 5 months, May to May 7-8. I went to Korea. You followed me there.
Yes, sir.
And then, all that craziness.
Oh shit! With let's pump the brakes a bit on this. So, what made you decide to join the Army?
What made me decide? Yeah, I figured that question would always come up. And so it's always the cliche thing, man. Like you know, I just wasn't going anywhere. You know, in high school, I went to a tech school my junior and senior year and got certified in drafting. Couldn't really find work in the state for that, you know. And you know, had a couple, you know, speed bumps in life. I was 16 going on 17. My mom passed away.
Oh shit.
On New Year's Day. After that, a couple months, my sister couldn't deal with my shenanigans, so I went to live with my dad because my parents separated when I was young. I lived there with him, finished out my high school. You know, I did all that, and then, you know, joined the military, which really put a smile on his face. You know, to get out of all the bullshit, because I was causing a lot of trouble.
Going down the wrong path, huh?
Yeah, real fast. And right. I mean, I just, you know, after the 9/11, man, like I was going into my tech school when that kicked off that morning. I thought I was watching a movie. You know, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And those images never left my brain. And then, you know, not having a solid career path, and if I'd have stayed in the state of West Virginia, you know, I feel like I would have just wasted life, you know, wasted away, you know. So I was like, I have to get out. You know, being a broke teenager, no real job, you know, nothing like that. I was like, well, what can I do? So let's join the military. And the funny thing was, the recruiting station was in a little shopping mall. It was right by this bar that my buddy used to bartend and cook at. He was the head chef there. And the recruiters used to come to that bar all the time after their shifts, you know, after their work day. And they'd hit up on all the young dudes, like, hey, you should join the military, blah, blah, blah. I appeased them one time and took the pre-ASFAB, you know, got a decent score, that little the shortened test.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, that'll get them off my back for a little bit. Well, it didn't. It was like official book, man. They wouldn't leave me alone. And I don't know, one day had a couple rough weeks, and one day I was like, fuck it, man. I called the recruiter back and was like, Sergeant First Class Jackson. I still remember the dude. I called him. I was like, man, how long would it take to get me in? And he was like, he's like, if you can get clean, because he knew I smoked and, did other shit. And he was like, you get clean, man, we'll put you in MEPS and get you away. So, 4 days, he had me piss in the cup at the recruiting station. I was good to go. And he's like, off you go. So I went to Beckley, West Virginia MEPS and left from there straight to Fort Sill.
So, all right.
First plane ride, too. First plane ride ever.
No shit. So
Yeah.
How did you get 13 Bravo? What made you select field artillery?
Man, after taking the main ass fab, like the big test, and apparently I scored decent, you know what I mean? And he was giving me a list of stuff to do, and I was like, a lot of it was just like bullshit jobs, like, poke shit. And I was like, just go down alphabetically pretty much. And he was like, well, artillery, and I was like, all right. And then he showed me the infamous video, and I was like, yeah, dude, I was like, I'm sold. I love fucking blowing shit up. It's like big fireworks,
Right.
I was like, it's like, put me in, coach.
Goddamn video. Gets everything.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, all these cats you got in your podcast are all like that fucking video, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. I mean, the first thing I saw, because I wanted to be a tanker, the first thing I saw was a fucking Paladin on there. I should have watched the rest of the fucking video because I didn't see about no toad. All I knew was tank, cannon, fire. Yeah. They didn't show us the fucking cat. They didn't show us what fucking ammo humping was.
Yeah, fucking 105-pound rounds.
Fucking
Right
on. So yeah, you did your OSUT thing, got out. So you did the deployment. Any shit you remember from the deployment? Any funny stories that you recall? Any excitement?
I mean, that Baghdad deployment, man, it was long. We stayed busy, that. We had multiple taskings. We had the PSD mission. We had all those runs, the money run. We had to pull our own gate guard, all that shit, dude. Like, we hardly ever had days off. There wasn't really, there was some goofy shit, you know what I mean? But, being in that palace, they were like, if you were on the first floor, you were good, but second, third, and up where battalion was, they was like, don't shit in the shitters, So you could piss in them, but don't shit in them. And it was like once a week, or maybe every other week, somebody would shit in that motherfucker and try to flush it. I'd be like, oh shit, fucking shit water all down the hallway.
Fucking real.
That happened numerous times. I remember there was this one cat. There was y'all probably got some of them too, right before we deployed. Like, they didn't train up with us or anything. It was like 2 weeks before we headed out.
Yeah,
we got a bunch of those new fresh out of basic.
Right.
And one of them came to section, and he used to get badgered hard, man. And I remember one time they put he wasn't in my gun truck platoon, because I was running with the first sergeant and commander. I was their gunner. Like, every day they went out, like one of the two of them. So I was rolling with them, but we rolled out with our platoons for those PSD runs, and they were fucking with him, and they knew he was going to be the gunner that day. So they fucking filled his draws with fucking the Gold Bond powder, like the one that heats up, and icy hot and all kinds of shit. And it didn't hit him, because like they was like, we'll do you a solid, man. We'll prep the truck for you. All you gotta do is come down. So like, he gets up, it's all shit. Muzzy's down, gets in that gunner's hatch after the brief. And I remember the comms, man, and it's just everybody laughing about it. He started blowing up in that seat with that heat and that sweating. that Gold Bond powder and icy hot on his junk. I remember that.
Dude, we did some stupid shit out there, man. Especially when you're a new one, you get some dumb shit done to you. Luckily, we got there, when they were still standing it up, so we weren't too fresh, like the new guys that came in. So, what part of West Virginia are you from?
I grew up in a small town called St. Albans.
Okay.
Then after, like I said, after my mom passed away, I moved in with my dad up toward Charleston, a little town called Sissonville.
Okay.
And it was, redneck as shit. Like, the city I came out of was pretty diverse for a small town. I mean, it's considered a city, you know, it's got some history and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
moving out there, it was pretty much like, you know, big bonfire parties, and like everybody was friends with everybody.
Okay.
99% white. Like,
Damn.
and I walk in like, yeah, I walk in being this kind of a smaller city kid, you know, dressed a little different than them, and some of the dudes were like, I don't know about this guy, but I mean, I made friends.
Yeah.
You know, some of the chicks were like, oh, new meet, you know what I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was fun. It was definitely a change of scenery, you know, and learning experience as far as education goes, because being in those cities, you have, again, it's a small city, but the educational system is a bit more advanced.
Right.
And like coming into that smaller high school with like less population and less students, it was hell, they scheduled me for the same algebra 2 class my junior and senior year. And my senior year, I got to the same class. And I was like, is this like advanced? Like, what is this? Is this like geometry? What? She was like, it's the same class you had last year. She's like, I don't even know why you're here. And I was like, ah, man.
Fuck,
so I go to the counselor.
then.
Yeah, the counselor was like, just show up and you'll get your credit and you'll be fine. I was like, all right, then.
Sold.
Yeah.
So, all right. So when you got back from fucking, or when we redeployed back from over there, you went to Korea. I followed suit. I got there in September. Like I was telling you yesterday, I swear to God, when I landed there, I fucking didn't see the sun for about 4 months. What did you think of Korea when you first got there?
When I first got there, man, I was like, again, you're there in the replacement for like what, a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if this is gonna be it, like these small posts, like this is gonna be lame, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I was dealing with branch, like, because I had got that in my contract to go to Korea on that reenlistment in country. You know, I'd picked that, and I was supposed to have choice of duty station leaving Korea. Well, when I got to Korea, apparently my branch manager had changed, and I got orders like while I was still in replacement to go back to Fort Hood. Like my HAP was set back to Fort Hood. So I hit him up on email and was like, look, like I got a copy of my contract here with me. I'm going to scan it, send it to you. It says I have choice of duty station leaving here. Because I was trying to go to Bragg or Campbell for one, to be closer to home. For two, trying to knock out some, you know, airborne or air assault, you know, some schools. Fought that the whole year. And I had tickets to leave Korea before I even had orders again. Because they had stopped those orders back to Fort Hood.
Yeah.
And cut me a plane ticket to leave. And I was like, I don't know where I'm reporting to after I get done with my leave out of here, because I never took leave while I was in Korea. I was going to, but things happened, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to stay here for the whole year. And they finally cut me orders right back to Fort Hood. The black hole sucked me in. Got back. That was the fourth ID had left, so I got back and went to first Cav 382, and then trained up again. That was another 5-6 months train up, and then deployed again. We were supposed to go back to Baghdad. That was the original mission. They changed it on us when we got to Kuwait. And so we got stuck there for an extra week because we had to get, you know, command spun up and everything else, and change the route of, you know, everybody else above us.
Right.
And we ended up going up north to Kirkuk, Fob Warrior, that large fob that was shared with the Air Force.
Okay.
And just running, you know, Iraqi police training, Iraqi army training, and you know, patrols through those shitty ass neighborhoods, man, looking for suspects, you know.
Dude, fucking what was one of the biggest differences? Okay, so check this out. When I was going to Korea, because I re-upped for Korea as well, and my understanding was that I had the choice of duty station when I got back. They did that at the levy brief, you know what I'm saying? So in my levy brief, I went there and I wanted to come back to Fort Hood. I had just bought a house there and I expected to come back to Hood. Yeah. Bro, I didn't get orders till about the last 2 months to fucking to D-Rose, and I was going to fucking Fort Stewart, Georgia. And I said, fuck no, I ain't going to no fucking Fort Stewart. Are you out of your fucking mind? What's out there? You know what I mean? And I had nothing out there. I didn't know what the fuck was there. So I tried to fucking fight it. And they told me, well, you know, you could either accept the orders or you could sign a deck statement. So I'm like, what the fuck is a deck statement? And they explained it to me. And I was like, then at the end of the day, they told me, you're still going to go to fucking Fort Stewart And that's where
Yeah.
you get an ATS from. And I'm like, well, you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
You just go ahead and re-up, baby. So I ended up re-upping,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie, I ended up enjoying Fort Stewart. It's actually one of the most high-speed, well, I want to say high-speed units, but has some good fucking NCOs there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't mind it too much. And shit, the way things are going now in Fort Hood, I'm kind of glad I fucking left, dude. All the motherfuckers missing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
finding bodies and shit.
That place has always been the ghetto. I think it's just being more exposed now. I mean, it's a
Exactly.
good post, but I mean, it's a rapid deployment. You want to deploy, you go there for sure. But I mean, with all that shit that's been going on, man, like so a lot of that shit was happening back in the day. You just didn't have all these social media platforms and people reporting things.
Well,
Let's kick it back a minute. Get back to Korea, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you. So taking it back to Korea, what was one of the biggest differences you noticed between fucking serving though in Fort Hood and then serving in Korea?
Training, man. Training. And it was hard, dude. Like it was hardcore and it was fun. They made it fun because you were out somewhere different. You
Mm-hmm.
know, going to the ranges out there, it wasn't on post. You had to go out to control areas. I learned the most about my job out there, dude. I mean, that's where I got my stripes. E5 in Korea, got pinned halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of the time they say the best way to lose rank in the military is to go to Korea.
Yeah, that's one of the jokes. Yeah, fastest
Yeah,
way to
but
make
I mean,
E5 is to go to Korea as a E6.
yeah, or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But training, man, like I knew my job pretty well, my positions, you know, as number one crew member, learned a little bit about the gunnery part of it, and of course, supporting the cat and all that, knowing your rounds and everything. But I mean, I had some good leadership there, man, and a lot of time in the field. It was every month, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, pretty much. Is that you?
Yeah, give me 1 second here. All right, hey y'all, sorry about that. You guys didn't notice it, but it was a quick fucking audio issue that I had to fucking fix up. Anyway, with that being,
Radio check your comms.
Dude, I mean, I'm not FDC, brother. I'm a 13 Bravo. You know, we need a fucking Delta over here for that shit.
Hang on it.
Goddamn right. But yeah, dude. So we were talking about Korea. We're talking about the ranges and training out there, dude. One thing that you brought up was the range. Did you ever go fire at Apache range? To where the fucking targets are going up the mountain?
Yeah, it's a qual. Yeah,
dude. Yeah, that was a fucking nightmare, bro.
Backbreaker.
Yes, sir.
Playing the phone, killing it, dude. It's like.
So we were talking about training and knowing your job.
Yeah.
So
just
go ahead.
Just getting out there, man. I mean, like I was saying before, I made my E5 out there. Not really fast tracking. I was promoted a little early, I think, than some, but just learning the job, man, and getting out there all the time. And I had good leadership, a great section chief, good team. Most of them were young, but they were ambitious. They wanted to learn the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We trained hard, we played hard, but I was certified as a section chief. Excuse me, out there. Actually doing table all the way to table 7, and got certified as a chief. I wasn't the section chief, but he wanted to get me certified before I left.
Right.
To be able to fire, all aspects. Regular, degraded, direct fire, all that bullshit. So.
Hell yeah, dude.
They fucking helped me along with that shit. And then coming back to Hood, like we spoke on there before, you get back to Hood, man, and you got guys who've been in, a couple year E6s, you know what I mean? Not knowing that job that well, man. And there was 3 of us that came back. One of them went to Alpha 382, and the 2 of us were in Bravo, running section chiefs as E5s. Better than E6s because they couldn't do it. Like, how the fuck does that happen?
Dude, I'll tell you what. One of the biggest excuses was deployment because of op tempo, which I can understand. But at the same time, it comes down to training. Because I tried to use that excuse when I got to Korea, and my chief was Sarna Guayo. And
I know who he is. Yeah,
that motherfucker, he put me to shame, bro. Like day 1, I got there.
Yeah.
And he tells me, hey, go initialize the gun. And I looked at him, I was like, I don't know how to do that shit, And so he told PFC
leaving Fort Hood, man, I had a good chief. He squared us away, man. Staff Sergeant Diaz, old fucking El Diablo in 277, man. He and had old Sergeant Hickmott, man. Both of them, fast trackers, smart, knew their shit. Old fucking El Diablo, we had a problem with a gun, as far as mechanics, he could fix it. He'd go to maintenance to try to get parts. If maintenance didn't have it, I swear to God, this motherfucker had a pallet and broke down in his garage. Because he'd show up the next day with the parts we needed. Hydraulic lines, fucking bolts, fucking any pieces, dude. Like anytime. Track pieces. Swear to God.
That's
like, what the fuck?
Brother.
and fucking, showed us how to do the basic shit. Being a number one man, make sure we're all on the same page, be able to get those rounds out quick. I mean, it's part of knowing it.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, you train at Fort Hood, but if you're getting ready for a deployment, you're doing like truck lanes and bullshits and stuff like that, because you're not doing artillery for the most part on these deployments.
Yep.
Your combat arms, bro. You're doing infantry shit.
Yep.
You know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All too well. And that's, one thing I do remember too is out there in Korea. I mean, we train on the weekends. My chief would take me out there. Like, if you want to fucking learn, all right, let's go to the fucking motor pool on Saturday, and we out there getting it. You know what I'm saying? It's all in person. But like you said, you did mention, you work hard, but fuck, we played a lot harder, bro.
God, speaking of Sergeant Aguayo, man, that brings back a memory, dude. One of the last field problems I was at, we were doing like lanes, like where the enemy would come in and take out like part of your crew, and you had to shoot with like minimal people. Mm-hmm. And I remember, if I'm not mistaken, it was Sergeant Aguayo. His whole section got like murked during that exercise, and he was able to fire that gun successfully by himself.
Oh yeah,
like got the idle up, locked it in, came back, did the section chief shit, lay light backlit, fucking no warning messages, fucking all that bullshit. Dude came back, did gunner shit, number one man shit, and fired successfully. And like, quick, I've seen sections do it, like a whole man section. I was like, damn, bro.
That motherfucker was on point, bro. I'll tell you what. I mean, he taught me a lot. I'm not gonna lie. He taught me a lot about fucking being a chief, and not just that in the aspect as well of the gun, but as well as leadership. He was a hot motherfucker though, man.
Yeah.
And being a young E5, we both got pinned at the same time. I don't know why I had like this little pit bull fucking attitude with the soldiers. I felt like I had to, because over there we're all together, so you gotta be able to fucking separate friendship from work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and that stopped real quick, man. Like, there was some of them. Again, that's the way I came up, man. Like, Sergeant Diaz, like, again, backtracking to Fort Hood, I just kind of picked up his leadership style. You know what I mean? And when like Sergeant Hickmott made his E5 before we deployed, it was, he pulled the whole section aside, was like, look, he was an E4 specialist, now he's an E5. Like, y'all can't be like having that fraternization.
Right.
And then after Diaz left, Sergeant Hickmott was like, look, guys, like, I'm here for you. Anytime, I would rather y'all come to my place and throw down and drink rather than go out and do something stupid.
Right.
Because like, he's like, I'll be at my house drinking. I'd rather y'all come in, throw your keys, stay for the night. And we did that a lot. So again, like, we trained hard, we played hard. So I took that kind of the same in Korea, again, because we're all there. What I mean? But I did have to change up some habits. As far as like, instead of drinking every night, showing up to formation smelling like booze. After I got that E5, because where I was trying to go, get those schools leaving Korea, I wanted to go ahead and put an airborne packet, so I'd have it ready. And I was getting a physical one time. This female captain was giving me my physical, and I had to do a UA and all that shit, so she could test my levels and the blood and all that shit.
Yeah.
So I went back to my results, and she was like, do you like binge drink? And I was like, what do you mean binge drink? She was like, do you drink heavily on the weekends and then not at all during the week? I explained to her, I was like, yeah, I do now, because like, I made an E5 and I don't want to set that precedence for my soldiers, like showing up to formation for PT smelling like booze, and let's go knock this out. Like, I wanted to be straight on that, but on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, it was time to throw down.
Oh yeah,
you're in Korea, so what else are you gonna do? And she was like, you can't do that. She's like, it's bad for your liver and your kidneys. I was like, so what are you telling me? I gotta quit drinking? She was like, no. She's like, if you drink a couple, with dinner at night, it'll equal itself out. I was like, so you're telling me I should drink every night still? And she was like, well, kind of. And I was like, can I get that in writing? So I can go to the gym something. She got a kick out of that. I remember that shit. That was funny.
Dude, I mean, but here's the thing, though. I mean, we were young men, and we're in Korea, and fucking soju is a fucking beast, bro. I mean, for those that don't know,
it affected me, man.
Hmm?
I really don't think it affected me like people said it would. Like, I've seen some people drink a lot of it and get tore down. You may be one of them. But, I mean, the first time I drank it, like, there was like, be careful with it. We went out to shoot pool. And he broke me in easy. I remember Sergeant Lee. He was actually Korean, but he was American Korean.
Yeah, that
he was like
motherfucking fat fuck.
Yeah. You remember that dude too?
Oh yeah.
We went out downrange, so he took me out the first time, and I was like, take it easy. So we were shooting pool, and we got the mugs. It was like flavored, and it was just the clear soju, not the gold, like the stronger or whatever. But hell, I drank 3 or 4 while we was shooting pool. And he was like, how you feeling? I'm like, straight, dude. And it seemed like it was after I drank that and then added like actual liquor or beer on top of it. Yeah. It just made it quicker. But like, I could drink soju all night and it really wouldn't fuck with me.
See, my problem was that I drank that shit like fucking Kool-Aid because it tasted like Kool-Aid. And,
yeah, they mixed it with fucking Kool-Aid. I mean, that was.
And yeah, just like I was telling you yesterday, the infamous fucking fishbowl. I remember it. That's the last thing I remember. I get you, but I do remember. I think it was your hail and farewell type thing. I want to say it was yours. I just remember that there was a big ass fishbowl. It had purple juice in it, and it had 6 straws. And I just grabbed this shit and just started chugging.
I think it was somebody's birthday, is what it was. It's like those were a common occurrence in the dudes that we all went downrange together from Bravo, and so there was like three main spots we always went to, and Ajima would always line us up shots of soju gold to start the night, and then she'd bring out one of those fish bowls to the table. Just about every time we walked in. I think
that's probably what it was.
What do I do?
Dude, all I know, I have no idea how I got back to Camp Hovey. That's the biggest thing. I have no idea how I got on the bus, through the gate, on the bus, off the bus, to my room. All I remember, all right, and for y'all listeners, fuck y'all if y'all think dirty on this. Bro, I woke up butt naked in my motherfucking room, all right? I left that out yesterday, but I woke up butt naked in the room, and I'm like, where the fuck am I? I went to the bathroom, dude, and there was fucking purpleness all around the fucking toilet bowl from where I was chunking, I guess, all night. That was a bad night, brother. I don't know how I didn't lose rank out there, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I had a couple of close calls, man. One night I actually sat in there was that little fucking CCP and Korean police station right there in Damashan.
Okay.
And like downtown. I got picked up one night and walked into there. Then my buddies talked him out of it, and then we went back to post. But other than that, man, I had a lot of nights like that, dude, where I get back, and then the only thing I remember is like the bus ride and like trying to keep motherfuckers quiet, you know what I mean? So we don't get kicked off and have to do the walk of shame all the way back to Hovey. That's a long walk, bro.
I ended up doing that. I think it was shit. It was during the winter, the first winter there.
Oh.
And I ended up fucking missing the last Hovey bus. And I fell in a fucking turtle ditch.
Yeah.
Dumbass. And it's a long fucking walk, dude.
We got kicked off once because it wasn't anybody out of my group, but somebody was on the bus heading back to Hovey. I think it was one of those, there was an armor unit back there. A couple of them dudes I knew. I think it was one of them chunked up on the bus, and they kicked us all off. But it was like right in between. So it was still like an hour walk with all these drunk motherfuckers.
Okay, so it was like the first tank.
Yeah. Because they were off in that, like as soon as you got over that Casey Hovey Bridge, you cut back to the left over there, and there was their barracks. Right. And you keep going a little bit, and then there was some other. I don't even know who was in those first ones before ours, and you had ours. Yeah. And you had those other fucking battalions and the other battalion buildings and battery buildings and shit like that toward the back.
Yeah, first tank was over there by the Schoonover Bowl, I think it was.
Yeah.
So right on. So anyways, you made it back over here. Korea was fun. We can do a whole fucking show on just Korea alone. So let's push forward a little bit on that. So you ended up coming back. You did your second deployment. You said you went to Kirkuk, right?
Yeah, up north.
How was that one?
Grueling. I mean, it sucked, man. We lost three dudes that were pretty close to me, or two dudes that were pretty close to me. We lost through the whole battalion for that deployment. 5, I think, on that deployment.
That was rough.
4 or 5.
What the hell? Yeah,
dude. I mean, we were just training IPs and IAs, and then helping support other infantry missions out there to help snatch and grabs, and went out and searching those fucking shitty ass neighborhoods, man, out in the Mahalos.
Yeah.
They that a good buddy of mine, Webster, his was just a lucky shot. We were doing some bullshit. The round came in, hit his radio that he had stuffed in his side, and bounced off the top of that comm radio and went in and punctured his lung and grazed his heart.
Fuck.
So, I mean, it was a load up, bring back. We were running. I wasn't out there with him when it happened, but we were running QRF on that one, standing by the gate right there, just waiting to go. If something did happen, and they picked him up, and we met him halfway and brought him back in. He didn't make it all the way back to the fob, and then they had Sergeant First Class Johnny Polk. He was new to the unit. He came to us while we were there, and he was section chief, team chief, while we were out there doing that fucking infantry bullshit. And then they ended up switching him from Bravo over to HHB because they needed a fill in. And it was, I think, 2 weeks into him being with HHB, and I'm not sure if they were heading to we were doing these micro grants where you take out cash to these neighborhoods. So like who've been bombed, the bullshit story. We've been bombed. We need money to rebuild.
Right.
Well, that you give them money and then they disappear. I'm pretty sure it was one of those days when they were running them out, because they ran more of those than we did. And that's when the RKG-3 threat got a little bit higher.
Oh man, yeah.
And they tossed it into the gunner's hatch, fucked the gunner up, and fucked him up. We got him back to the fucking fob, and he was on life support until they talked to his wife. They were planning on sending him to Germany.
Yeah. But
his wife was like, I don't want to have to do that to him, because he was fucked, dude. Like,
it would have been it would have been more of a burden on him, quality of life would have been the same. Yeah. That RKG-3 is a bitch. All it is a mini EFP. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we got fucked up.
Throw by hand. Yeah.
Yeah. In Mosul, we got pretty fucked up on those, man. Yeah, exactly.
Well, Russians or German? Russian. I think they're Russian.
Russian. They had a little parachute on it and shit.
Yeah. You leave a spoon, throw it, and the shit pops off. Yeah. And that's how they were getting them directly into those fucking gunners' hatches. There was other units that were getting fucked up by them left and right, because they toss them either off a roof or from the other side of the road. And if they were good toss, man, that gunner ain't paying attention. Like,
exactly.
Still,
dude, we had we got fucked up. I want to say twice with the RKG-3, and I told my gunner, dude, when I started taking over the lead gun truck position, I was chiefing the truck. I was, the team chief, or the truck chief, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So anyway, yeah, there you go. I was the TC of the truck, dude. And I told my gunner, I'm like, hey, man, I don't give a fuck if he's 5 years old, 80 years old. You see a motherfucker cock his hand backward like he's about to chuck something at you, you take him the fuck out. Yeah. You take him the fuck out. I'll bite the bullet on that, because there's no fucking way I'm going to risk it for – I don't care if he's trying to throw a rock, motherfucker. I can't tell it's a rock. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So take him the fuck out. And then my driver, his name, we called him Bambi, little fast motherfucker. We had the fucking the mine roller in the front. And so we're moving up and down Tampa in Mosul. And that's when they started drilling those fucking holes out there on Tampa and putting fucking paving it back up. So, we would switch lanes all the time, but they also had that fucking TTP where they would fucking throw little kids out there and fucking, we're getting help. Please help us. Oh yeah, dude. So I told my driver, hey, I don't give a fuck. You ain't stopping. He's a speed bump. Run him the fuck out. I'll bite the bullet on that. I don't give a fuck, dude. Because I'd rather go home than fucking get caught up trying to help somebody. That's when you end up getting fucked over a lot,
Yep.
But fun
That's
times.
the truth, man.
Fuck that. God damn.
That deployment, fucking training those fucking IPs and IAs, that was a fucking joke, man. Because we had a contractor with us, and it was like he was a liaison through the company he was with, prior police SWAT dude. He'd go out to the he trained both of them with us. We had each platoon had 2 to 3 IP stations, one Iraqi Army facility, and we had what was called like a ERU team or something like that. That was like special forces, fucking Iraqi dudes. That was a fucking joke, dude. Half those dudes were gay. Swear to God, dude.
And Love Thursday, baby.
These motherfuckers. But like you teach them something like one day, and then like you progress on that throughout throughout a month, and you go back the next month and like, well, let's refresh what we did last month. And like, you train the trainer. Y'all tell us what y'all, fuck. They're like, nah, Durka? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it wasn't that long ago.
Bro, I had this one section chief in Afghanistan I was teaching because that was my final mission on my final deployment. My final mission was teaching artillery to the Afghan army.
Yeah, I heard you tell that to somebody else you got on the cast, man.
God, dude. First of all, they barely know how to fucking count. And the ones that do know how to count, so you have this guy who's a sergeant. I forget his name. It was Zabit something. Zabit, I think, was the rank for sergeant. But this dude, I'm teaching him how to fucking, because I want him to teach his crew. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm giving him fire missions, showing him how to put it in the fucking, put the deflection in the quadrant, and then how to fucking use the wheels.
They're all degraded, right?
Oh, yeah, dude. And I'm trying to show him, like, how to fucking spin the wheels, to fucking traverse and to elevate. And this motherfucker, that bullshit you not, he's standing up and he's like this, hand on the sight and just literally twisting like this, all slow. And then he gets the other with the same. And I'm like, no, Zabit, look, both hands, both hands.
Yeah.
And then
quick,
teach him. He's using one fucking hand, dude. So I finally grabbed his fucking hand, like one hand here, go like this. That motherfucker, bro. His own section didn't like him. He was only a sergeant because of people he knew or he paid for it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
garbage.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when they wanted us to teach him like reciprocal lay or SAMs, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What? These motherfuckers don't understand that. So yeah, now working with the IP.
If they have the equipment to do some of that shit, they're gonna use it as fucking, whatever else. Probably sell it just to get money for something else.
Dude, the way they did the direct fire was fucking awesome. They have a great direct fire scope on their fucking D30, okay? Beautiful fuck.
Yeah.
Bitch is accurate as fuck. These fucking monkeys will lower the tube or put it to whatever they want to target, drop the breech, and look through the breech. Or
dude.
They'll put the scope into the breech, bro. Yeah, dude, these guys were fucking retarded. I understand putting the crosshairs at the tip of the breech. I remember we used to do that shit, but no, man, these guys were just fucking monkeys. Did you guys ever trust the IAs or IPs?
Fuck no, dude. There was numerous times we'd help them fucking go on little fucking shenanigan raids for tips that they had, about fucking problems in their neighborhoods, and go help them like pick somebody up, dude. And it was like we frequented them places 2 or 3 times a week, like each station 2 or 3 times a week. They'd pick them up, bring them to the station, lock them up, and we come back like the next day or 2 days later to try to follow up on what happened, thinking the dude like getting info or saying he was still locked up or whatever,
right?
And they're trying to figure stuff out before they can move him to another facility or wherever else. And they'd be like, "Well, he escaped." What? Like you got security guards, you got barred up windows and fucking bars on the cell. Like, how's this motherfucker escape, dude? There's one of him and like 6 of you at the station, if not more, all the time. Right. And the station ain't no bigger than like, I don't know, 2 dry shoes, maybe 2 or 3 dry shoes.
Right. Yeah, dude, they're fucking. They were all in on it. Every time we got fucked up in Mosul, they happened to conveniently disappear, bro. So
yeah.
So once we got back, you got done with all that bullshit, came back out here. Any struggles that you
I was
faced?
done. That's just the Army, dude. I got done, man. I was fucking tired of getting screwed, not getting the schools that I wanted. All that shit. I was like, fuck it, man, I'm getting out. So I decided that when we got back. And another pusher was that I was supposed to get promoted. There was being that other E5 that was working in E6 slots. We're both supposed to get promoted while we were on deployment. We actually went to the board the first few months into that deployment and passed it,
Mm-hmm.
And then the first sergeant didn't really. I don't know what his deal was, man. And I'm not going to name drop, but if I talk too much about it, if somebody's listening, they probably know anyways. He held on. Like if he'd have dropped our packets after that board,
yeah,
we'd have been promoted the following month. But he held on to our packets, didn't send them up to fucking Sergeant Major's desk and on further. So it was after that month that the points shot up because they wanted everybody to have education shit.
Right.
And I was like, fuck, man. And I was like, nah. I was like, I'm done, dude. Whatever. So we got back. I just got out, and I had 6 years, 3 months, 4 months active duty.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of dudes who were getting out at the same time, and not in college, not signing up for reserves or National Guard, or trying to get on an IRR list or anything like that,
right.
and get it on paper to where they wouldn't have to deploy. We're getting caught up in pretty much stop loss, man. As they were on terminal leave, like, hey, we need combat arms dudes, the NCOs in these units to fill slots, and they're deploying with dudes they didn't even know, right off the bat. And I was like, fuck that, dude. Like, I don't care to deploy. That's what I wanted to do, but I ain't gonna deploy with a bunch of fucking shitbirds who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly.
So I hit up retention before I left Fort Hood and signed up for the reserves for a unit. I was trying to find an artillery unit in West Virginia, but the closest one was like a 4-hour drive. And I wasn't trying to drive that, working a regular job if I got a normal job for like AP weeks and all that shit. So I signed a contract for the reserve it was like, again, to finish out that 8-year obligation, so I wouldn't get stop loss. I was going to a unit where maybe I know some people because it's close to my hometown, whatever. Right. I had to reclass to an 89 Alpha, which was a ammunition specialist, which came easy, being artillery for so long. You already know, transportation handling, DODIX, DODAX, all your codes, all that shit. And then, again, being an NCO in combat arms, you're running ranges, so all the types of rounds, so it's besides the explosives part of it, which I kind of knew anyways,
right.
do other stuff. But I mean, it was a pretty easy transition into that. They kept trying to send me to the schools, which pissed me off because, like I told them, I was like, you're wasting your time. I was like, I know I'm an E5 and you got to put me in a team leader spot, but like, I'm only going to be here for this year and 4 months, to finish out my 8-year obligation. I'm not, your retention cat's not going to give me something that's going to fucking make me sign back up. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. I just moved home, bought a house, got married, and was settling down. I had in that contract, it was, like I said, a year and 6 month contract for that reserve unit, with a 2-year stabilization in it. So if they mobilized to deploy, which they did twice while I was there, I had the choice to go with them or not. Mm-hmm. But they were only going to Kuwait to do ammunition bullshit, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like I'll stay here and work my civilian job.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't trying to Kuwait sucks dicks, dude. I wasn't trying to sit there for fucking 6 to 8 months.
Preach. Yeah. Fuck that.
I got lucky with my old lady, man. That's a story we'll tap on here in a minute. But her dad is a regional safety manager for a welding gas and supply store in the area, and like the whole East Coast, he's got from like Maryland down to like parts of Virginia, and that's all his area, and into West Virginia and Ohio. And he got me a job because they were hiring a spot as a truck loader at the Charleston facility. So he got me on, and he was like, whenever you want to start working, I'll set it up with the manager there. You can go in and have an interview. And I was like, all right. And I was like, I had like a month of terminal leave saved up, dude.
Oh shit.
Like after I finally got back, like 28 days. And I was just going to enjoy that shit, dude. Fucking do nothing. Just fucking kick back, get set up in my house, enjoy the life for a few days, a few weeks, and enjoy life,
Yep.
Because going back and forth, man, it was crazy. I got married before I got out of active duty, so we'll tap on that in a minute. But walked into that job. The transition to that job was simple, man. I mean, I went in for the interview. And I told him, I was like, look, I don't have to come to work right away. He was like, no problem. He's like, we got to check some of your stuff out anyways, and blah, blah, blah. It'll be a week or two. And her dad hit me back up and was like, man, Greg said you were great for your interview. He liked everything. He's like, you can start working whenever you want. And I was like, well, fuck it, dude. Like, I'll start working right off. So I was still on terminal leave.
Oh, shit.
Started that job. Yeah. I mean, so I got lucky on that. Worked there for 7 years, man. It was good. But back to the wife, like we met. Well, I was home. It was before I went home on mid-tour leave on that Kirk deployment.
Okay.
And it was weird because we have a lot of the same friends that we grew up with as teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
But me and her had never crossed paths ever. And like my buddy, he's in a band, and they had pictures at a show one night right before I came home, and she was in a bunch of the pictures, and I was like, who's this chick, dude?
Right.
Like, she's smoking hot. He was like, that's Biz. Like, you've never met her before? I was like, I've known her about as long as I've known you. And I was like, nah, dude, never seen her in my life. Like, I like to. So when I came home, I was kind of seeing a chick. I don't know if you call it that. I mean, I guess you call it that at the time. But they had another show when I came home on mid-tour leave from that deployment, and she was there. And Jason had dropped the bug in her ear, like, hey, it's my boy Seth, blah blah blah. And I was at that show with that other girl that I was seeing before I met Erica.
Oh, darling.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of weird. And like, even that night, man, like that chick that I was with, like, I guess you could tell that I kind of had some eyes for Erica, my wife now. And she was like, she kept drinking. She was pounding drinks back that night, the girl I was with.
Yeah.
And even to this day, we had this conversation not too long ago about how that girl kept bothering Erica that night. And I just kept egging her on, like, trying to be like, well, why don't you hit on her? Maybe she can come on with us. just joking around. You know what I mean? And like, apparently, like, she kept following her around that whole night, that the girl that I was seeing, and then my current wife. And she tells me all the time, she's like, that bitch just wouldn't leave me alone that night. And I was like, I don't know what her problem was. And I finally told her, I was like, that was me. Like, I was just fucking with her to see if, you'd hit back on her or whatever.
Right.
But again, they had another show. They had another show again before I had to go back. Yeah. And I was by myself, and me and her kind of hung out that whole night and kind of hit it off a little bit. And then I went back on deployment and kind of was still seeing that other chick. But apparently, like, a couple people got wind that Erica really liked me. She was into me. So I broke it off with that chick. Thank God. She was fucking crazy. Like, crazy. And,
like she needed pills crazy?
Beyond that, dude.
Damn.
But that's a whole different rabbit hole, maybe for another episode.
Dude, wait a minute.
But
didn't your anniversary just pass too?
Yeah. There was June. I'm gonna get fucking yelled at right now. July 6th. It's 10 years, man.
Happy anniversary. 10 fucking years, dude. And you froze.
And out of nowhere.
You're good.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Wiggle back and forth. Like I said, we just met and shit. So it was like I came back from that deployment for good. I came home on that leave, and we started hanging out more. And one of my Joes was getting out. He was getting married. So I asked her, I was like, you want to go to Georgia with me? Take a little road trip and go down to one of my Joes getting married. She was like, yeah, sure. I'd love to. We went down there and had a good time. And I think the way I remember it was on the way back from that wedding, I asked her to marry me as we, like, in the car. Like,
oh shit.
Because like we talked about relationships and stuff like that. We'd only been seeing each other for like 6 months at that time. And I told her, I was like, I'm never getting married. Like, all my boys, I've always said I'm never getting married, blah blah blah. We were driving back, and I was like, would you marry? I was like, would you marry me? I was like, we just talking, And she was like, she's like, are you serious? I was like, will you marry me? Like, and she was like, yeah. She's like, if you're serious, yeah.
Yeah,
but it was, and it went on from there, dude. And like, we started making plans, and then she's Catholic, so like technically I would have had to do the whole marriage counseling thing. It's like 3 to 6 months for full Catholics. I'm not, I believe in God and all that shit, but I'm not a full Catholic. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so she was working at the Harley Davidson shop as the motor clothes manager in South Charleston at the time. And she got one of her customers who was just a regular minister to marry us, but where she's Catholic, you know, he was like, I want to do a little bit of the traditional Catholic thing. So like, I'm gonna get you two together like 1 or 2 times, you know, to ask questions and talk about stuff. And other than that, like, so we slapped that wedding together, dude. And then I went back and forth. I was going back and forth, you know, like 4-day weekends, whatever we had after that deployment between Texas and West Virginia, flying or driving. Either way, I did it, you know. Then I had a small wedding, dude, like just close friends. A few of the friends that we had mutual that had, for some reason we've never met, you know.
Right.
My family, her mom and dad, her 2 sons, which I consider my sons, you know, because I pretty much raised them since they were 6, 7 years old, you know.
Oh yeah, they're yours.
Yeah, I mean, they call me dad. They fucking look up to me, look for me for advice, all that shit. I'll treat them like they're my own. Always will.
There you go.
But yeah, man. Like that one night at that show though, when like we were there together, we were kind of there together, but we weren't. Like I just got off that deployment, so I was like wilding out with a couple of my buddies, like throwing, you know, drinks back all night and whatever else. But apparently at that show, this comes up all the time, like how I really like won her heart over.
How did you do that?
I'll fucking go ahead and put it out there because like most people already know us. And it's a fucking funny ass story. But apparently I got so shit faced that night that when my friend's band was playing, like I came up behind her and was like, my thought process in my head was like, I'm gonna pick this girl up and put her on my shoulders, you know, so we can be in front of the stage, you know, and do like that. But apparently I was too fucked up, dude. And I came up around her and went to grab her. Yeah. And when I grabbed her, I grabbed her from the back and the front, and my hand went down like right on her crotch, and like I tried to pick her up that way. And then like I was like, oh shit, I'm grabbing her junk, you know? So I fucking stepped back. Like she like looked at her friend and she was like, did he just grab my vagina? I was like, he did just grab your vagina. So like and then like the rest, like there's a picture that night again. I tried to put her on my back again that night. And like we have a picture actually. And I'm fucking shit faced, like she's all laughing back. But after all that shit and after all, you know, Trump getting elected and the whole grabbing them by the pussy thing.
Right.
People ask, like, they're like, you know, how'd you win your wife over? And I was like, I fucking trumped her, dude.
Dude, I took Trump's advice and it worked.
Yeah. And it was before all that, but still, like, I think I taught him how to do that, but whatever.
There you go. He got it from you, brother. So basically, we should be blaming you for grabbing women by the pussy. That's funny, dude. That's funny. That's good shit, though. 10 years, here you are, you know? That's awesome shit. Yeah. You know, and thank God you didn't fall in love with a juicy fucking drinky girl out there in Korea.
Don't bring that up, man.
There's a lot of folks that did.
She fucking gives me shit about that all the time because I've told her a few stories. She's like, oh, you talking about your Korean whores? I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I tell her shit, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like how it was and how things were. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like I never paid for it over there, but I might have had some fun. I wouldn't again, didn't pay for it, but I had fun over there.
Oh, there was some single fucking like they fucking married him, brought him here, and then they fucking chucked on them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've only heard like maybe 1 out of 20 success stories of, you know, those chicks marrying a soldier and actually staying together. I think one of them, if you remember him, he was, I hate to throw names out there, he was a section chief while we were there in Korea. He met a chick. Yeah. He was in my battery for a while.
Well, the one I know was in my battery. He's in Sergeant Major's Academy now. So
is his initials JF?
The last name have to do with the coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Well, we done told everybody now.
Right. Well, no, I mean, like you said, the success stories are very few and far between. And his is actually a success story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, also, he was there for what? I think he AIP'd twice, if I'm not mistaken. He was there for 3 years.
Good old Boyd Iraq program, baby.
Yeah, right?
Dude.
I want to be a hero, but I want to be a hero in fucking Korea.
Yes, sir. So with that said now, moving on. So you end up getting out. You did your time as 7 years working with the, where you worked at. Now you transitioned into a new career where, again, secret squirrel shit. And
not secret squirrel, so it's called OPSEC, brother.
Oh, my bad, OPSEC. I got you. So for the listeners, what is it exactly? If you could tell us what it is that you work in or on, or kind of, if you could beat around the bush of what you do.
I mean, it's just, private security. I mean, that's all it is. CONUS, private security. I mean, I'm sure most of the veterans out there that were combat arms have thought about it, or even attempted to apply. Just working in that job that I was working in, man, like I loved it, dude. I loved being, that civilian job. The guys I worked with, it was an all-male facility. Like, there was no chicks there at the place we were at. We had what do you call them? Somebody that worked there for a little bit to try to get some of our paperwork straight. I can't remember.
HR?
Yeah, but no, she wasn't permanent. She was like a temp that worked there for a little bit. But other than that, she was an old cranky lady. She was fun to fuck with, but whatever. She had an attitude. She could deal with all the dudes that worked there.
Okay.
And shortly after I worked there, the guy that took over the management slot for the main store was a retired E6. I think he was E6 or E7. He might have been an E7.
Mm-hmm.
But he'd been around, man. So he was fucking, hard as nails. Cool dude. But like, I loaded trucks for like 3 years, running a forklift. We loaded, like, again, it was a welding, gas, and compressed gas supply store. So like, we supplied 3 other branches in West Virginia. So I'd load 3 trucks a day for those branches for the next guy that come in the morning and take them, early. Mm-hmm. That was my day. Like, I come in, load the truck, get it all prepped, make sure the paperwork's counted, the count's right, and then so they could have it, their manifest, to leave the next day.
Right on.
So like, I did that for 3 years. We took on some new medical customers, so they put on a night shift, so we could have 2 guys filling, industrial gases, and then 1 guy, which I took the job of filling medical gases at night, like small oxygen containers you see like people get for home health care and stuff like that.
Right.
Did that for 2 years, about 2 years. And we lost that customer. Night shift was fun. I love that shit, dude. Cause like, there was 3 of us there and that was it, dude. Like, as I was coming in, my boss was leaving.
Yeah.
He'd be like, this is what you need to do this. You'll be straight. And when I was leaving, he was coming in. I was like, this is what I did. I did some extra shit. I'm going home.
Nice, dude.
And then I did that, until they got rid of that slot, and I was about to get laid off.
Oh, okay.
And that part of the plant was union. So at that same time, they had hired this young cat on the inside to run the sales counter with the other dude that had been there for a while. And this kid was young, and I think he was fresh out of high school. He worked a couple jobs, and then he started working there, and that was his main shit. But like, this typical, baby's mama's boy, I'd say borderline millennial almost, couldn't handle shit for himself. The warehouse was always a mess. Dealing with customers, he wasn't fucking great at all. And he was pussified, dude, because that my old boss, like, it was all dude place. It was like the army. Like,
right.
We bullshitted all the time, called names, played pranks, shit like that. 2 quick stories on this dude was led up to him quitting. One story, the other guy, the old cat that used to work the counter with him, he still works there. He was an old welder, welded in the coal mines of West Virginia for years.
Right.
And then got out because his wife was making good money and started working at that store. So that was the knowledge of welding and supplies there on the sales counter. This kid couldn't keep his paycheck, dude. Like, even before payday, he would ask to bum money from the dude that he was sitting beside every day so he could buy basketball shoes to go look cool in with his boys, fucking Xbox games, shit like that. And Chuck would give him the money, because he knew he worked with him, he'd get it back on payday. And the kid always paid him back, which is whatever. But while he was still working there, he got hooked up with this chick and was getting married to her. But we found out later on that when he proposed to her, the ring that he gave her, he didn't pay for that fucking ring. The chick's mom that he was asking paid for that fucking engagement ring.
What the?
And gave it to him to give to her daughter. This is how fucked up this dude was, right? And I don't really give a shit. I highly doubt he'll hear this shit or whatever, but I don't really give a fuck. But I think one of the main things that made that kid walk out of the job around the same time when I was about to get laid off and we lost that customer, Charlie used to let us order shit, you know, and have it shipped in on the company's tab, like not really on the company's tab, but shipped in using our address.
Right.
Like people would order things that like, they didn't want their wives to know, like it was Christmas presents or, you know, whatever.
Right.
We could use our FedEx and UPS address.
Okay.
Well, this kid used to do this because he was with this chick and she didn't know that he was spending his paycheck all the time. He played golf or attempted to play golf, I guess.
Right.
Ordered this fucking golf club, right? He went out to lunch one day. UPS and FedEx came, dropped off all the shipments, plus his golf club. So Charlie was going to play a joke on him, but was kind of mad at him too for the same reason that he was fucking up his own life. Like this kid's fucking being a shitbag to his wife, right?
Right.
And spending $500 on a golf club, you know, and having it shipped to work or whatever. And Charlie didn't like him to begin with.
Right.
So he took this fucking golf club out of the box and hid it in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And put the box in his office. So when that kid came back off of lunch, Charlie came out and like started to get into him. Like, what the fuck, man? He's like, I know I told you y'all you could use the address or whatever. I was like, you better not be using our fucking shipping cost and all that shit.
Right.
And started to get into him and took that box out of the office. He was like, I got whatever you ordered. It's right here. And took that box and bending over his knee and then opened the front door of the shop and threw it out in the fucking parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kid thought that golf club was still in that fucking box, you know,
right.
He used $500, whatever he spent on it. And fucking the other dude was trying to keep a straight face. And this kid, like, apparently, I wasn't in there to see it, but apparently he almost came to tears. Like, almost started crying. Got up from his desk and his computer and walked out, fucking with, like, shop keys. He didn't clock out, nothing. Just walked out, got in his car and left, right?
Wow.
And I guess he just had to cool off or fucking pull his shit back in from not crying in front of all these dudes, you know?
Right.
And he comes back like 30 minutes later and was apologizing to Charlie, but he came back to hand back in the shop keys, to log out of his computer, and to fucking to time out, like on his time card. And then he was like, I quit. He's like, whatever. He's like, I'm done with these motherfuckers. And Charlie was like, whatever, bitch, bye. Bye.
Dude.
Fucking after he left, so I ended up taking his job. Like I was able to walk right into it. I kept almost the same pay because I wasn't having to pay union dues. Mm-hmm. So that kind of made the offset of what I was making. Mm-hmm. You know, working the other shit to that, and so I took over the warehouse and the fucking sales job up front. Okay. And I didn't mind working in the warehouse. I tried to stay busy in there as much as I could. And there was a lot of customers, regulars, you know, that come in all the time I was cool with. Right. But just dealing with the general public, man, my wife knew I hated it. She could see it every day when I came home. She was like, you're just not happy. And I was like, no, I'm not. She's like, well, try to find something else. So I brought it up. Like she knew that I wanted to get into some type of contract work, whether it be washing clothes and fucking, you know, buy op or fucking, you know, electrical or running a warehouse somewhere or whatever, you know. So I told her, I was like, look, this is the age, like if I'm gonna start doing this shit and we can save some money, now's the time for me to do it. And she was like, well, if you think you can do it, you know, do it. So I hit up a couple of dudes that I knew from that last deployment, you know, was like, what kind of channels do I need to hit on? Da 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 da. And he was like, anything within your wheelhouse, you know, as far as your combat arms experience, being a fucking an NCO, artillery, ammo, you know, working in that warehouse, you got customer service shit, you got, you know, computer skills, you know, spreadsheets, blah, 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 anything. Right. You know, whatever you can do, like even your drafting, like if you have certificates and all that shit, he was like, apply to anything. Right. So that's what I did, man. I hit up every company from fucking, you know, the bullshit jobs to working in MWR, running a fitness center, fucking laundry, fucking shit, you know, running warehouses, and then fucking, you know, the shooter jobs, you know, like whatever, doing fucking, you know, security stuff, you know, whether it be static or mobile or whatever. I just started fucking putting everything out there, dude, just fucking dropping applications and fucking whatever. He was like, whatever, dude. He's like, if you can get in on somebody to get your foot in the door, just, you know, run with it, you know? Right. And one company did hit me up on a static position within about 6 months. And I was like, I was trying to beat that recruiter in the head for as much information as I could off the phone. you know, as far as pay and like what rotations would be and where I'd be going. He was able to give me like rotation stuff and location, and then like what training would consist of a little bit, and how long that would take. And some of those companies, for the security side of it, I don't know about the other stuff like your PAEs and KBRs. I don't know if they do or not, but I know like the security side, they'll sponsor your fucking clearances, whatever clearance you need. If you don't have it, you just got to go through the checks and fill out your SF forms and all that shit.
Right.
And but like they hit me up, and I was like, I was kind of browbeating him over the phone about pay. And I was like, he was like, well, most of those guys on this one kind of make, you know, X amount. And I was like, man, I'm making that right now.
Right.
You know, I'd rather be doing what I'm doing now and be able to be home rather than over, you know, somewhere fucking in the middle of nowhere making the same money.
Right.
And I was like, I have to think about it. And he was like, well, think about it. You know, we got a few open spots on this one. He was like, just hit me back, you know, within a week. Let me know yes or no. And I was like, all right, dude. So I called my buddy back, and I was like, look, man, I was like, this is what he could offer me. He was like, it's kind of shitty. Like, it's definitely not the pay. He's like, but again, it'll get your foot in the door, man. It's your call. And I was like, nah. So I sat on it for a day, dude. And it was 48 hours. Another place called me, and they was like, we got fucking this, you know, the pay was way better. Location was, you know, places I'd been. And I was like, all right, you know, I was like, if you got slots, I was like, what's training going to be? You know, and they set me up with dates. And I talked to my boss because I was still working. He was like, it could be some time. Like it could take, you know, 6 months to a year to even get you where you need to be working. You know what I mean?
Right.
Out to wherever location we're going to send you. And so I talked to my boss. He was like, man, he's like, I'll help you out as much as I can. So I was like, all right. I was like, well, today I'm quitting. I was like, I'm going to quit today. I'm going to training on these days, you know, for my shit. So I kept in contact with him, you know, and then I had a break between the training and then having to do more training and then getting sent over, you know, overseas. So like I was there with no money, dude. Like where I quit initially, I was full time. I'd worked there for 7 years. Had a 401k with that company.
Okay.
So I went ahead and cashed out that 401k, you know, to keep bills going. And I talked to him. I was like, man, can you hire me back? You know, I was like, you know the situation. I was like, can you hire me back to do anything? He's like, I know you haven't filled my spot yet. You got somebody else that's working there, kind of back playing it.
Right.
He was like, man, he's like, I'll talk to fucking management and we'll hire you fucking part time. You can work half days, you know, and I'll push for as much pay as I can for you. Which pretty much, he said I could work half days, but like he was like, I need you from the full day, and
Okay.
I'll pay you overtime. So I was like, all right, dude. So I was still making money, but I couldn't have insurance through him because technically I was, you know, part time. So yeah, so he kept me on through that until I was able to fucking finish what I needed to finish and get my clearance set, and then fucking here I am 3 years later, man.
That's what's up, man.
And it's just something that it's just working with like-minded dudes. It's that military mind frame, you know what I mean? That aspect of life, like that camaraderie, that fucking you're working with like-minded dudes, you know? It's just like I heard you're in fucking Kowalsk's midweek memo the other day, and you pulled in old fucking dude, and y'all were talking about MCs. You know, people join up with the MCs because there's a lot of veterans in there, man, and it's a type of lifestyle, man. You look for that adrenaline, you look for that camaraderie, you look for that like-mindedness.
Exactly.
People you can bullshit with and not cry about. You know what I mean?
Exactly, dude. Especially like coming to this villain sector, I did have definitely my trials in adjusting. You know, coming from a combat fucking job where we have a certain attitude towards things, we find different humor and shit, and then coming to a fucking call center environment where it's like fucking 80% females, and you know, I went from taking care of Joes and leading Joes to now fucking answering calls. It was a complete 180 for me, bro. So luckily, I was able to adapt.
You know, like, and we've been friends on Facebook and like the Instagrams or whatever for a while now, and I've seen, you know, your trials and tribulations working that job, and like when you were working in the office, some of your rants you went on.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I was like, dude, I'm there, dude, because like again, working in that warehouse, like when I was the union side of it, like I never went in the shop, you know, so I never had to deal with customers. It was just all the other dudes, all the old crusty fuckers that worked there, you know, and we just fucking broke balls all day long, you know.
Yeah.
Played jokes with each other and fucking same. They weren't veterans, you know, the majority of them.
But it's the same mentality.
Yeah.
So
old style dude, old school motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
right.
Grew up hard.
It's what people call like fucking, locker room talk or
Yeah,
shit like that. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So, and dude, I mean, that's where this comes into play, just because sometimes you just
yeah,
want to hear some shit, be
yeah,
gone from the world for a while. You know what I mean? And this
yeah, yeah.
definitely helps me out, bro. That's what's up.
Yeah. I like what you're doing. I like it, man. That's why I was like, yeah, I'll fucking pop on that shit.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Shit, man, we've gone on for quite some time now. I can't really tell how long, but
Yeah, I was checking.
it's been about a good hour and a half, maybe hour 15.
Is it? I thought. Yeah, about that. I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
hour and
man.
a half.
Cool. I think this would be a good point to go ahead and pump the brakes on it and bring you on for the next time, where we'll discuss a few other topics. Now that we've gotten to know you a little bit better, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And if anybody wants to fucking how can I put this? When he comes back again, we're gonna shoot the shit on some other topical shit. This is more of a get to know Lacy and see how things are up and catch up with them pretty much. I'm sure there's a lot of cats out there.
Females in fucking combat arms, like these fucking female gun bunnies.
Dude, bro,
I've heard Kowalski's piece, but that's something else, man. We'll get onto that.
we will definitely talk about that next time you come in, bro. We have to definitely hit on that, dude.
And if you want to bring that there too, man, I'll talk to that Pollock. Shit.
Hell to the yeah. You know what? We'll do a little three-way here. Fucking dude, it's been awesome having you here at the Gunline, bro. Go ahead. What's up?
Swords, bro.
I can't hear you.
I said, well, we ain't crossing swords. Watch how you phrase that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. As long as we don't see each other in the eyes when it crosses, we're good.
Yeah, Dutch rudder. I ain't touching your dick. I ain't touching mine.
Dude, it's been awesome having you on here, man. I appreciate you coming on. You want to give any shout outs to send any hellos to anybody that might be out there?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm always sending hellos to my wife.
Of course.
Eric, I love you. Yeah, I did want to give a shout out, man. I seen when you had Grenice on there, he runs that dog grooming and training place in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So that's struck me on the group I work with out of West Virginia, man. They're based out of Huntington. They're called Rivercity Bully Buddies.
Okay.
And you can find them on most of the social medias, mainly on Facebook. They don't really have a website, but the Facebook links will give you stuff where you can donate. It's a fully non-for-profit rescue organization. They have the main place is at a house, a residence, just transformed a garage, pretty much half our house, into holding the dogs until we can find them forever homes.
Okay.
There's also a network of foster dog homes throughout West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio, where people foster these dogs until we can find them, forever homes.
Okay.
Again, that's our RCBB, Rivercity Bully Buddies. Again, non-for-profit. There's links on there where you can give, support to them, financial, dog food, shelter supplies as far as, newspapers, blankets, beds, dog beds, treats, all that stuff. There's stuff on there to give all that stuff to.
So they have a Facebook page?
Yeah.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll get the link from Facebook and I'll put it on the YouTube link. If anybody wants to go ahead and check it out.
If you want to.
Yeah, that'll work. If you can send me the link over to through the messenger and shit, and then I'll go ahead and plug it onto the fucking onto the YouTube links under the description. If you guys can help out Rivercity Bully Buddies, all right? Hey, we're always here to help everybody out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, mostly again, it's called Bully Buddies because most of them is because the breeds are like bully breed dogs,
right.
Pit bulls, Staffordshire Terriers, all that stuff. The ones who Ohio's had laws. Parts of West Virginia has had laws about, not having dogs in certain counties and shit like that. And people get these dogs, don't handle them right, or completely get them just to mistreat them, and they end up dumped. And people pick them up, and they're like, well, it's a ferocious dog. Well, we've had 3 of them and trained them and got them homes. One of them was untrainable. And then one of them, the last one, the wife ended up keeping. So,
I feel you on that. They've gotten a bad rap, they've gotten a bad rap.
Yeah.
And just like veterans, bro, they get a bad rap sometimes. we got to take care of some of these dogs too that get bad raps. So let's help take care of them.
Right.
City bully buddies.
I have 5 dogs at home right now, and two of them are like bully breeds, man, and they're the fucking laziest dogs we got.
Yeah. Yes, they are, dude. They're fucking lovable, and they fucking fart like shit, and they look tough as fuck too, you know. But yeah, man, that's what's up. Anybody else you want to give any shout outs about?
That's it, man. I mean, not right off the rip.
All right, too easy.
Not without getting approval from them, I wouldn't want to put them out there. I mean, I got a couple buddies that run like training facilities, but I don't know the websites and
I got you.
Everything just
next time,
kind of new.
Make sure you get that shit for next time, then.
I will.
Y'all make sure to come and tune in next time you see that Lacy is coming to shoot the shit with us. Make sure y'all come on down, man. It's been a pleasure. Shout out to West Virginia. They're not all just cousin lovers and sister lovers. You know, they good folk out there. You're you know, fucking Lacy's from fucking West Virginia. My boy Carter, he's from West Virginia. And
Carter.
You know, so great folk come from great places. So with that said, y'all have a great day out there. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Luckily, we didn't have any technical issues this time.
Yeah, keep my internet up this time.
Yes, it did. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one out there. Love, peace, and hair grease. Gunline out. Bye, motherfuckers.